and welcome to the Performance Cafe. It's great to have you here. And this is our second episode for 2022. And I must admit, I'm back in client work and I'm hearing the complaints of, oh, it's Monday again, oh, it's January. We rather wish we were on holiday, we were with friends, we were with family. We were doing what we love. We were taking part in our own hobbies, whatever the case may be. Normally the comments are the phone's not ringing, the computer's not on, and it's ample time to binge Netflix. I actually thought we had ticked the Netflix block after 2 years of COVID, but apparently that is still there. And so today I wanted to ask you about insanity. I wanted to ask you what your Mondays were like in 2021. And I kind of bet that you're going to tell me out of the 52, probably at least like 45 were not great. And for whatever reason that may be, I think there's this cultural phenomenon around Mondays not being great. And it's okay that Mondays aren't great. If you pitch up at work on a Monday, or if you speak to someone on a Monday, go, oh, I'm having an awesome day. People go, but do you know it's Monday? You know, there's sort of this culture that they subscribe to around this. And so my question for you is, isn't that a bit of insanity? Are Mondays really that bad? Or is it just because we're following this pattern, this tradition, this routine that we feel Mondays are not great? So let's go with the flow right now and go, okay, maybe Mondays aren't that great. I'd like to ask you, what were your Mondays like in 2021? Remember, last week we were talking about what worked for you in 2021. But I want us to take a look at Mondays and go, what doesn't work on Mondays? Is it the routine of fetching and carrying children? Because that's a reality now again, now that the kids are back at school. Is it particular people, particular meetings, particular tasks that happen on a Monday? And I want you to challenge the routine and ask, is it necessary that I do that? Is it necessary that I do it in that way? Is it necessary that I do that on a Monday? See, here's the thing. I might have mentioned this before, but it's one of my favorite things to talk about. The 8-hour work week was conceptualized in 1817. It was the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, and an industrialist called Robert Owen decided that for sort of what was then work-life balance, as much as it was, people should have 8 hours of work, 8 hours of rest, and 8 hours of downtime with friends and family, what have you not. And that is how we all got to work, 8 hours a day, roughly from 8 to 5 or 8 to 6 in most cases, or 9 to 6 in most cases. So I'm asking myself, considering that we probably have slightly more capacity than lemmings, is there a reason why we still just do things by rote? Because I've always done it this way. Because I've done it this way since I've started working. And those of you who, like me, are older than 16, you know, we've got a couple of decades of that routine that we keep on playing. And so I want to challenge you to take a look at your Mondays and say to yourself, is this Monday set up to give me the best potential for my week? Is there stuff that I can do differently? Is there stuff that I can do at different times? Is there stuff that I can delegate? So, one of the other things to ask that I think is really useful when we take a look at how we evaluate what we're doing on a Monday and whether we're setting out the week up for success is to use the Eisenhower matrix, is to check the priority of this. Now, for those of you that don't know it, this is the urgent and important matrix. And so those things which fall on urgent and important get done first. Those things which are important but not urgent get delayed to a date where they are both urgent and important. Those things that are urgent but not important get reviewed, because why are we doing urgent work if it's not important? And let's just take a look properly at what that is, and are we defining it, understanding it correctly? And then lastly, that which is neither urgent nor important. Why are we doing it? Now, the thing here is when we get to that matrix, when we get to that block in the matrix, what we want to do is we want to outsource or delegate that. Because just because something isn't urgent or important to me does not mean that it isn't urgent and important to someone else. It just means I'm doing someone else's job. And so we find then the person that is the most appropriate to deal with that work and ask them to take it over as much as they give work to us if it was relevant and urgent and important to us, but not to them. So this is my year to fix Mondays. I believe that we waste a lot of time, a lot of energy, and create a lot of stress and distress by disrespecting Mondays and not making the most of them. So from this week on, I hope to give you lots of Monday advice every Wednesday so that I can get you prepped for your next Monday and ready to rock and roll it. For those of you that follow me, you'll know that I have a website called Innocent with an E, and that is my speaker website, and that tells you all about my TGI Monday talk. And I started on this mission last year, and I think I'm going to hang on to it for a bit. I've been seeing some good results with individuals who have followed the advice. And so from February, we will be back with a coffee companion, but we are going to first ride out January and get everyone back at the office. And then I will see you next week for another episode of the Performance Cafe.